From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning across the country as $1,400 third stimulus checks are now underway in what is called Wave 3. Wave 3 started on Friday. This channel can exclusively report. And the Wave 3 deposits, direct deposits, will land this coming Wednesday. This channel can exclusively report. But when are the mail checks being delivered? That details are now unfolding overnight. I have breaking news you're going to hear for the first time ever on Mornings LA right now this morning. Meantime, a new push is underway for reoccurring stimulus checks. How rich are they and how many stimulus checks are they? I have all the details across the board in the breaking news. You'll also see new video from the White House, from the president, new video from the vice president. Also a new video from Chuck Schumer at the bottom of the hour, and the incredible new push as fourth stimulus is just around the corner. It's a big day as the coffee is brewing, the toast is toasting, and the bacon is missing. But not missing next week will be your $1,400 third stimulus check that will be landing with a new effective date of March 31st. This is Mornings LALATE. Toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and guess what's going to be here next week? Yes, your $1,400 third stimulus check, third wave, especially for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and Direct Express card holders. How are you? Good morning. Hope your day is good. Yes, the $1,400 third stimulus check Wave 3 is underway, and the deposits are happening this coming week, and the mail checks as well. I have all the details in today's video. Thank you for joining me on a Sunday morning. I hope everyone in the Midwest is doing safe amid the flooding and the tornadoes. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss a single recording across the board today. Also, like this video. Let's see if we can do 3,000 likes. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. We have a full lineup of shows today, mornings, noon, afternoons, and evenings. So don't miss a single minute. Let me get to the breaking details. A third wave of $1,400 stimulus checks, that's the third stimulus checks, started and went out on Friday. This channel can exclusively report. Second, this channel can also exclusively report that the effective date of the third wave of stimulus checks will be this coming Wednesday, March 31st. Number three, this channel can also exclusively report that the effective date for the mail check has been updated for countless viewers overnight. And that new effective date is the end of next week into the start of the week after. Really incredible, great news. I have all the details coming up in this video, but boy, it is a jam-packed video, so stay with me to the very end because there's a lot of things happening. And if you join later in the video, I'll have an update as well. The excitement started on Friday, well, actually on Thursday night, Friday morning, when your head of SSA, Mr. Saul, confirmed that stimulus checks had gone out in a third wave. Once we were free to move forward, we aggressively worked with Treasury and IRS to issue payments. That was his incredible, great news statement. Not one, not two, but three past tense verbs in that sentence, confirming that payments had gone out in a third wave. What were these payments? These were the payments in reaction to a week on March 31st. That effective date, ironically, and not a coincidence, is exactly 1 week after the second wave and 2 weeks after the first wave. All three waves of stimulus checks have landed by direct deposit on March 24th. So when is the mailed check date? The mail check dates I got later in this video, and it's later in the week. The great news is the mail check date is just a few days away. So this is also great news. It's not weeks away, it's just a few days later in the same week going into the next week. More about that in a second, but this is great news. Who is getting a stimulus check by direct deposit this coming week? Let me explain who it is right now. First, people getting a stimulus check by direct deposit are people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, and Direct Express card holders who got a first or second stimulus check by direct deposit. Also, people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits who get their monthly benefits onto a bank card, a bank account, checking account, or savings account, like a Bank America or a Chase, banks other than the Direct Express card. Number 3, people who are not on benefits and got their first or second stimulus check by direct deposit. Number 4, people who filed their 2020 tax return early, very early, in mid-February, got the tax return processed and filed to update their bank account information. They have contacted me and they have confirmed they have gotten stimulus checks. Who is not going to get a stimulus check by direct deposit this week? Potentially the entire group I just mentioned. What? Let me explain why. IRS last Monday confirmed that a large percentage of you who are expecting it by direct deposit will not get it by direct deposit, even though you got the first and second stimulus by direct deposit. Instead, it will be in the mail. It will be in the mail. That is the most recent, the most up-to-date statement about your stimulus check officially from Treasury, that a large amount of you will not get it ever by direct deposit. It will be in the mail. So how many of you are getting it in the mail? Well, in the last few days and last weekend and yesterday, I've seen about 50% of the viewers of this channel who are expecting it by direct deposit are getting indication it's in the mail. So I believe the large amount indicated by Treasury is upwards of about 50% or more. Now, if you're watching this video so far and you have yet to see any alert from your bank, from the irs.gov tool, or any other tracking instrument, don't worry, because 90% at least of the times, the stimulus check just lands without prior alert. I know how we are. We're in a digital age. This is 2021. You go online, you buy a nice shirt, you order it, you track it when it leaves Georgia, you track it when it lands in Los Angeles. You know the day in which the truck driver's driving it out to deliver it to you in LA. You know the actual hour it's landing that shirt. So it may be a little frustrating to know you can't track a stimulus check like it can track an online purchase. It just is not sometimes trackable. And yet 90% of the time, it just lands. Now, let me make something very obvious, but it needs to be said. I predict that at least 50% of you will never get it by direct deposit. It will come in the mail. Well, guess what? Your bank will never have information about it because it's not going to the bank. It's going in the mail. If it's going in the mail, the bank don't know about it. If it's going in the mail, Direct Express card don't know about it. If it's going in the mail, Bank America or Chase don't know about it. It's in the mail. And what does in the mail mean? It means it's a debit card or a mailed check from Treasury in either a white envelope or a beige envelope. So what day is it coming in the mail? More about that coming up in a second in this recording. But boy, it is a full day with a lot of details. Among the other details heating up today was that standalone bill from one of the Democrats. And that standalone bill calls for multiple stimulus checks. Well, bless her. She wants to, Tlaib and Jalapal, pay you stimulus checks, multiple stimulus checks under the 4th stimulus package. How many? This is what her press release said this week. She wants the first stimulus check to be $2,000. Oh, that's good. The next check every month, $1,000. Well, that's pretty good. Well, how many checks does she want to give you? 1 year, until 1 year after the pandemic's over. Oh, bless her heart. She wants to pay you stimulus checks to the middle of 2022. That's really cute, isn't that? I love that. Bless her heart. Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. You gotta love the person who wants to give you money, but just never gonna happen. She wants to give you stimulus checks for about, let's say if the pandemic ends in September this year, wishful thinking. So she wants to pay you what? 20 months of stimulus check. Maybe 32 months. She wants to pay about $32,000 stimulus checks. Bless her heart. Never going to happen. But the great news is that she's keeping stimulus checks front and center, and she's keeping reoccurring stimulus checks front and center, and her timing is excellent. Why? Because next week we're going to see the fourth stimulus package from the president. And it's perfect timing for her to have introduced that bill to the House because it starts the narrative. Remember, the Democrats in both the House and the Senate, 100 of them, they want to do a similar concept, monthly checks with an amount they have not yet said, presumably $2,000, until the end of this year. That's $16,000. Not $30,000 of stimulus checks, but at least she has her focus on point. Bless her heart. Now let's cut back to that $1,400 third stimulus check. What can I tell you about March 24th? Let me tell you what's going on, and March 31st. Let me tell you what's going on. This channel can exclusively report that viewers have gotten alerts from their bank, from their credit union, and from their direct express card, whether they are on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits or not, that a drop of stimulus checks will be the 31st. One viewer also jumped into the chat yesterday and said that the family member works at IRS and they know there is a big drop of stimulus checks on the 31st. Additionally, one viewer over the weekend got an advance clearance of the stimulus check in the bank account from MetaBank NetSpend for the 31st. Let me explain what's going on. The effective date of the direct deposit for the 31st is the 31st. So the big banks, the Chase, the Bank Americas, will not release the funds before the effective date of the check, which is the 31st. Smaller banks like Cash App, Chime, Bancorp, H&R Block, Green Emerald Card, and TurboTax under the first and second wave did release funds before the effective date. So could you see funds appear in your bank account today? Well, because you didn't look yesterday. Monday, Tuesday, absolutely. I had one viewer overnight say, "Oh my God, LA, I went to get some groceries and it showed $2,800 on my debit card. My jaw dropped." Why did it just appear? Because she got the third wave landing in her debit card before Wednesday. But again, the big banks will release the funds on Wednesday. Some may release it on Thursday. Here's what you need to know. One, you're not going to get alert 9 out of 10 times that a direct deposit is going to occur. Number two, the direct deposit will just appear. Number three, the direct deposit can appear anytime throughout the day. Deposits occur at different hours at different times of the day, depending on who the recipient is. Number three, you will not get alerts ahead of time. You will not get alerts sometimes indicating that it'll come. And finally, the best indicator that the deposits are hitting is you, the viewer. If you tune in on the 31st and you hear someone say, "Oh my God, it just appeared in my account from Bank America. Thank you, LALATE," then you know, if you're a Bank America customer as well, to go look at your account because yours may have hit. Next, if yours does not show, or appear on March 31st for direct deposit, then it's in the mail. And guess whose checks are in the mail? We have second wave people with that March 26th effective date that didn't get their stimulus checks on Saturday. I'll be going over you in a second. And then we have the third wave of people who are not getting it in the direct deposit. They're getting it in the end of next week. I have new news overnight, as with new alerts and new information for viewers. That's coming up in a second. But here, before that commercial break, here's something obvious I want to say to you. If it's coming in the mail, you're not getting an alert from your bank. Your bank ain't getting the money. If it's coming in the mail, you're not getting an alert from Direct Express. They don't have your money. It's in the mail. They have nothing to do with your money. It's in the mail. And if it's in the mail, the alert will be when you go to the mailbox and you find it. Moreover, how do you know which day it's coming in the mail? And could it come in the mail before the direct deposits this coming Wednesday? I have all that big, exciting, new, exclusive news coming up right after this commercial break. Stay with me. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right after this with another video in just 15 minutes in which I jump into the live chat. But during the commercial break, I saw some of your great questions and comments, and I'll be answering some of them right after this. But if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss a single minute of what's happening across the board. Also, like this video. Let's see if we can do 3,000 likes. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Links at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. One viewer said, I got March 26th as my mail check date. What's going on with that? I'm getting to that right now. Another viewer said, I use that tool and it doesn't show me information. What should I think? I'm getting to that right now as well. Let me get to first my mail people. There is upwards of 50% or more of the viewers of this channel who got the first or second stimulus check by direct deposit and will be getting the third stimulus check by the mail. Some of you will have an alert, some of you won't have an alert, but hundreds of thousands of viewers of this channel have alerts that says it's in the mail. Many of you have a March 26th date. So what happened to that March 26th mail check? There are 4 things that could have happened for you, and it depends on the person. You may be one of the 4 scenarios. 1, the March 26th date is about to update itself because it has happened with some viewers. It switched from March 26th to an April date, which I'm about to get to in a second. Number 2, the check's just late. I had some viewers where the March 26th check came on the 27th yesterday. So tomorrow's going to be a big day in which we'll see if a lot of those 26 checks start to show up on Monday. Additionally, another thing that could be an issue for that March 26th check is that it simply just didn't go out. It didn't go out, and that's why there is no information about it. What is the most likely scenario? The likely scenario is that it did not go out and it's going to get a new date, or that it's simply delayed. And with that new date, let me get to the breaking developments that are happening overnight. The breaking developments overnight is that viewers have now gotten alerts from the IRS tool that shows April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, April 4th, and April 5th as effective dates of a mail check. This is huge because now the effective mail check dates, which yesterday were the 1st and 2nd of April, now go all the way to April 5th. Number two, I have a lot of viewers that got a new update on the IRS tool late Saturday evening. They DM me on Sunday morning saying it just appeared late Saturday evening. I've been checking it like a hawk, purple hawk, because you tell me to check, and it changed. So if you have a 26 March date, it could change to an April date as well. Additionally, here's what you need to know is that you need to really watch that mail and watch that bank account. Remember, if it's not going to the bank, it's not going to the Direct Express card, they will never give you an alert because it's not going to them. They don't have your money. It's in the mail. Additionally, if it's in the mail, it may just appear without an alert. 9 out of 10 times, viewers get stimulus checks for first stimulus, second stimulus, and third stimulus without ever getting alerts. They get in the mail without an alert, they get in the deposit without the alert. What's important to understand is that Representative Neal's letter last week was great news because it put the issue at hand front and center. But the letter as to why people didn't get stimulus checks was categorically incorrect. He said that people didn't get stimulus checks because Treasury doesn't know where you are. That's not true, because I got hundreds of thousands of viewers who have their name in the IRS tool that have a March 26th date, that they get dependent checks every month. That IRS says, we're sending you a check on March 26th. And as of March 27th, they had not got to the check. So this is not a problem about not able to identify you or not able to identify where you are. They actually even have you in the results. It's just they didn't get the checks to the people. So ultimately, the good news is that Representative Neal put the issue of 30 million Americans on SSI and SSDI front and center on broadcast news. But the reason why you didn't get the stimulus checks is absolutely untrue. Additionally, as I said throughout this week and the weekend, the number of people not getting stimulus checks is much larger. Let me go over that. I have people on SSI and SSDI who got stimulus checks within 24 hours after it became law. But these, as we sit here today on a Sunday, are the people who have not gotten stimulus checks. People who file tax returns and not on benefits have not gotten stimulus checks. People who use the non-file filing tool last year have not gotten stimulus checks. People on benefits who file tax returns have not gotten stimulus checks. And people on benefits who use the non-file filing tool have not gotten stimulus checks. So the universe is much larger than what Representative Neal says in his letter. But the great news is that stimulus checks are on their way. More about when and where you could track them and find when they're going to land. But here is a new video from the White House overnight that talks about the appointment of the vice president to deal with the issue of the border. Let's listen into his comments.
With the problem here at home, but also to deal with it now in terms of in country. And I can think of nobody who's better qualified to do this than this is a woman who ran the second largest Attorney General's office in America after the United States Attorney General in the state of California, and has done a great deal upholding human rights, but also fighting organized crime in the process. So it's not her full responsibility and job, but she's leading the effort, because I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, they don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is? When she speaks for me, doesn't have to check with me, she knows what she's doing, and I hope we can move this along. But so, Madam Vice President, thank you. I gave you a tough job, and you're smiling, but there's no one better capable of trying to organize this for us.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And
Meantime, the vice president also spoke yesterday, actually the day before, talking about the issues at hand for women. As you know, as people get back to work, they need a lot of stimulus, and people have just not gotten their stimulus. Let's listen to her comments at the end of last week.
this is an issue that should not be and is not just a woman's issue. You know, I've been the first woman in many positions I've held. And people say, well, then talk to me about women's issues. You know, these reporters that put a microphone in front of you, talk to me about women's issues. And I look at them and I say, you know what? I am so glad you want to talk about the economy. Because that's the reality. When you deal with the economic condition of America, you must address the economic condition of women. And with that, I will now turn the proverbial microphone over to the chair of our Council on Economic Advisors, C.C. Rouse.
Meantime, next week, the president's going to have a full plate for you of stimulus news. And let me give you just a roadmap of what's going to happen next week. Next week, the president of the United States is going to introduce his fourth stimulus package called the infrastructure bill. It is not going to take you from point A to point B. Why? Because the infrastructure bill is really going to need a lot of revising. There's a lot of opposition to it from among Democrats. The president's infrastructure bill, as he has indicated, will be funded by raising inheritance taxes, raising corporate taxes, raising also the wealth tax and other taxes, including capital gains taxes. And that has caused a lot of opposition among Democrats. So you're going to see this take a while. It's going to get a lot of modifications. I will be along there with the path for you. But I want you to understand, unlike the tow truck with the tow hitch, this tow truck doesn't even have tires on it yet. So we have a little ways to go for this fourth stimulus to get on the actual road to a finish line anytime soon. Meantime, here's what you need to know about tomorrow, Monday, and about those mail checks and about the 31st. First, if your bank has your money, your bank has your money. But other than that, if they don't have your money, it's not going to be showing up. Let me explain why. The push of the third wave of direct deposits was last Friday. So viewers have sent me images that says, hi, you have a pending deposit for next Wednesday, March 31st, and we're going to release the funds on March 31st. Some viewers get those type of alerts. Other viewers don't get the alerts. It just appears. So on March 31st, the funds may appear in your account on March 31st. They may also not appear because they're coming in the mail. Now understand, let's talk about one instrument at a time. First, let's talk about the deposits on the 31st. If you're at a big bank, the funds will be released on the 31st. They won't release them the day ahead of time. We've seen it on the first wave and we've seen it on the second wave. So the funds would be released on the 31st if you're at a big bank. If you are at the Direct Express card, if they are on the Direct Express card, then they would be released on the 31st. If you're at smaller banks or Cash App, Chime, Bancorp, H&R Green Emerald Card, which have released first and second wave stimulus checks before the effective date, they could release the funds Monday, Tuesday. Guess what? They released the funds to a few of the viewers on Saturday. And some banks finally could release the funds the day after the 31st. But if the banks do not have your funds, which could be 5 out of 10 times, nearly 50% of the situations, it's in the mail. They won't have your funds. They won't send you an alert. They won't show you a deposit on the 31st because it's in the mail. So which day are you going to get it in the mail? The 26 mail check people watch that tool over the next few days to see if the tool date changes. If it doesn't change, it's likely en route to you, and there's been some delay factor for it getting to you, meaning that 26 date is going to stay as it is, and you're going to get the mail 26 check late. Number 2, if you have a change of your tool, congratulations, because a lot of viewers have. They now have April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th as the new delivery date, as the new date for the mail. When are those checks going to land? Next week. Why? This is how the tool works. If it shows mail and a date, it means that the date is the date on the check. It does not mean that's the date the check was mailed out. It does not mean that's the date you're receiving the check. It means that's the date written on the check. So when are checks then really mailed out? When are checks usually received? Usually, which is not happening this time, I guess we're saying, usually a March 26th check would be received by the 24th so that you have it ahead of time to deposit on the 26th, because that's written in the 26th. Viewers did get on the 23rd that 26th check, but as you know, tens of thousands of viewers this channel is a 500,000, a million views a day. Tens of thousands of viewers this channel are not getting that March 26th check. And yesterday, you saw the magnitude. This is the most watched stimulus channel anywhere now, and you saw the magnitude of people not getting that March 26th check. So that check, there's something at issue about its delivery to you that's causing it to come late. But the April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we don't know if it's delayed or if it's coming early. In the next few days, we're going to see if some people who have an effective date of April 1 to 5 get it in the next few days. And if it does, that's a great signal of where we are. A lot of details in a big recording, and guess what? I'm back with you into the live chat coming up right after this. Remember, 9 out of 10 times you will never see an alert about the stimulus check. It will just land in the mailbox. If it lands in the mailbox, your bank will never give you an alert because they don't have your money. Direct Express card will never give you an alert because it didn't go to them. It went to the mailbox. If you have a representative payee, it's going to the representative payee, not you. If you're dependent on someone's tax return, it's going to them, not to you. And if you had a bank account with IRS, which is now closed, don't worry, it's coming in the mail instead. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. Stay informed, stay focused, and coming up in just 3 minutes after this, I go into the live chat and interact with you and see the latest updates you have about the tool, what we're seeing in private messages to me, and also what they're seeing from deposit notifications from banks. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay available.